His very first delivery went sideways before he even knocked. Two hotel workers were trying to pry open the door to the room he was heading for. One look, and he knew something was off. Every staff member he'd passed was wearing gloves. These two weren't fakes. He decided to play it cool, just a guest walking by.
I was thinking about going for a swim. Are the pool facilities here nice?
Of course, sir. It's the Chilton Hotel. Best in the city.
Why is the pool closed?
And, do you have the time? Oh, yes.
The man in the suit shifted and a holstered piece flashed at his waist. It clicked instantly. This wasn't a deal. It was a sting. The cops sensed something but couldn't confirm who he was. His eyes caught a room number nearby. With his photographic memory, he recalled a sign he'd passed moments ago. Room 2005. Harvard Law School interview session, one floor down, and law happened to be his hidden talent. No hesitation. He headed straight for the interview. Downstairs, Harvey Specter, top closer at Pearson, Hardman, was picking a new associate. One Harvard grad after another, every single one stiff, dull, and useless. Dozens in, not one worth his time. Mike walked in right as a no-show was called. Harvey's secretary, Donna, assumed he was the missing candidate.
Look, I'm just trying to ditch the cops, okay? I don't really care if you let me in or not.
Mike had a rawness to him, honest, unpolished, direct, the exact opposite of Harvey's sharp, controlled cool. Donna spotted it immediately. She waved him in. They barely got through introductions before Mike's briefcase popped open. A bag of weed spilled across the floor.
Whoa! What's this?
Mike figured he had nothing left to lose. He told Harvey everything. How he spotted the undercover cops. How he got out. Harvey's jaw dropped. He called Mike a genius on the spot and offered him the associate position right there. Mike said yes. Before Harvey finished the sentence, then Harvey hit the brakes. Firm policy, Harvard grads only. Mike hadn't even finished college. Mike wasn't letting this go. He pitched his ability to absorb information, told Harvey he'd already passed the bar. Quietly. On his own, Harvey didn't buy it. Mike told him to grab any law book off the table and read a passage.
Anything.
Civil liability associated with agency is based on several factors,
Including the deviation of the agent from his path, the reasonable inference of agency on behalf of the plaintiff, and the nature of the damages themselves.
Mike recited it back word for word. Harvey was impressed, but not ready to concede. He pulled up a case on his laptop and fired off the answer himself, matching Mike's speed, proving he could do the same thing. Except he missed one detail.
statute of limitations renders Sarbanes-Oxley moot post-2007.
Well, not if you can find actions to cover up the violation as established in the Sixth Circuit May 2008.
It's impressive, but you're sitting at a computer.
Playing hearts.
That did it. Harvey wanted him. But the firm's rules were a wall he couldn't climb over. He let Mike go. Then he opened the door, looked at the line of blank-faced Harvard grads waiting outside, and pictured doing this all day. He hesitated. He turned back and asked Mike one question, the kind that cuts to the bone.
I'm inclined to give you a shot, but what if I decide to go another way?
I'd say that's fair. And sometimes I like to hang out with people who aren't that bright, just to see how the other half lives.
Mike's answer hit something deep. Harvey saw himself, years ago, standing in the same spot. He made the call, rules or no rules. He was hiring this kid. But before Mike's first day, Harvey laid down 3 conditions. No negotiation. 1, get clean. The firm ran drug tests. 1 dirty result, and he was done. 2, visit Harvard Law in person. Walk the halls, absorb the atmosphere, fill in the gaps in his presence. 3, buy a real suit. If his mind was going to represent Pearson Hardman, his appearance had to match. When Mike finally walked through those doors on day 1, Harvey hit him with a shock, told him he was fired. Already, the reason was personal. Harvey had lied to a client, and the firm's managing partner, Jessica, had found out and torn into him. Harvey knew if Jessica also discovered he'd hired an associate with no degree, no college at all, his license would be gone. To protect himself, Harvey cut Mike loose, but Mike was too sharp for that. He caught the hole in Harvey's logic instantly. If Harvey fired him, Mike would go straight to Jessica and tell her everything.
Are you telling me that if I throw you under the bus, you're going to drag me with you?
But you put your interests above mine, and I'm just putting mine back up next to yours.
You're rehired.
Standoff broken, Harvey backed down. He handed Mike his first case, a pro bono assignment. Jessica's orders the firm took on a few every year to keep its reputation polished. Harvey only touched high-end corporate work, a charity case with no fee and no glory. He tossed it to the new guy trial by fire. The client was Nancy, a single mother. Her boss had harassed her. When she refused, she was let go. Overnight, she couldn't even feed her kids. The company had deep pockets and an airtight legal team. On paper, this case was unwinnable. Mike came from the bottom. He felt Nancy's situation in his gut. He wanted to fight for her. Harvey shut that down fast. The legal world didn't run on empathy. Lawyers weren't social workers. Compassion alone wouldn't win anything. But behind his cold front, Harvey kept nudging Mike. Stop arguing the surface. Find the other side's weak spot. Dig up what they're hiding.
You know what? I'd subpoena the personnel records of every woman who's left the firm during this guy's tenure.
Harvey knew the executive hadn't stopped at Nancy. If they could get the company's personnel files and track down every woman who'd left, even one willing to testify would seal the case. The other side wasn't cooperating. They rejected the subpoena, claiming insufficient evidence, and filed a motion to dismiss. Mike panicked, terrified the case would be thrown out. Harvey didn't flinch. The harder they fought to keep those files sealed, the more it proved they were sitting on something. The strategy was working. At the hearing, opposing counsel argued employee privacy. They claimed the company had already run a thorough internal review. No harassment, no wrongful termination. They accused Nancy of filing in bad faith and asked the judge to toss the case. Harvey didn't waste time debating the facts. He attacked the process. The internal investigators reported directly to the accused executive. That was the same as having your friends judge your case. No independence, no credibility, no weight in court. To drive it home, he used the judge herself as an example.
It'd be as if your bailiff accused you of sexual harassment, and you assigned your stenographer to investigate. Now, how likely would it be that this investigation yielded any fruit?
The logic was flawless. The judge ruled on the spot, motion to dismiss denied. Case moves forward, and the company was ordered to turn over all personnel records. Mike pulled an all-nighter through the mountain of files. One name jumped out, Joanna Webster, fired 3 years ago by the same executive, Charles Hunter. The reason was vague. The severance was suspiciously high. Mike knew this wasn't a coincidence. Joanna had likely been silenced with cash. He tracked her down and spent an entire day convincing her. His sincerity won. Joanna agreed to testify. At the deposition, she delivered. Clear, detailed, credible. Her account matched Nancy's experience point for point. The case against Hunter was building fast. Then opposing counsel smiled. They flipped Harvey's own playbook, ignored the case, and went after the witness. They revealed Joanna had a theft conviction on record. Jewelry worth $1,000 she'd sworn under oath. She had no criminal history. The contradiction destroyed her credibility on the spot. Joanna fell apart. She walked out. Mike stood there frozen. Harvey ripped into him. He'd failed to run a basic background check on his own witness. The most fundamental mistake a lawyer could make. Mike chased after Joanna, begging her to come back. She refused. Back at the office, Mike sat alone at his desk, drowning in guilt. He felt like he'd blown his first case, let Nancy down, and disappointed the man who'd taken a chance on him. He grabbed the briefcase, left his badge on the desk, and walked out. What he didn't know was that this had been Harvey's test all along. Harvey caught up and tore into him again. When things go wrong, you don't run. You solve it.
So if you want to quit, go ahead, but this isn't because of Lewis, and it isn't because of me. It's because you're afraid you might have to admit that you're not as smart as you think you are.
Harvey told Mike to go home and think. Then he drove straight to Joanna's apartment. He'd already had her checked out. Joanna had never worked at Hunter's company. She'd never been harassed. The whole thing was a setup by opposing counsel, a planted witness designed to stall the case. With Harvey's connections, pulling the real story took almost no effort. Perjury alone was enough to put Joanna behind bars. Under that pressure, she cracked and confessed everything. After a night of reflection, and some wisdom from his grandmother, Mike came back. He chose the work. He chose to stay. Before trial, Mike approached opposing counsel with the full evidence chain proving they'd coached a witness to lie under oath. He laid out the terms, publicly acknowledged the harassment, reinstate Nancy with a raise, and pay $250,000 in damages. If they refused, the perjury evidence goes straight to the judge. Workplace harassment was a civil matter. Fines, settlements, witness, tampering, and perjury criminal charges. They had no leverage left. They took the deal. It was over. Harvey and Mike shared a look. Nothing needed to be said. Nancy broke down in tears, vindicated, restored, whole again, from start to finish. The case had nearly broken Mike. He walked in reckless and raw, ready to quit the moment things fell apart. But Harvey's pressure and the weight of reality reshaped him. He held onto his conscience. He stayed within the lines. He fought for someone who couldn't fight for herself, and earned his place among the best in the game.